Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is July 26, 2025, and those were the images of Hansi Flick expressing his dissatisfaction to John Laporta, and I'm going to tell you what they were talking about. Also, it looks like Barcelona could secure a new sponsorship deal with a sponsor that was previously already a Barcelona sponsor. And finally, Deco has stayed behind in the city of Barcelona in order to finalize some transfer market business. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news that the team is officially in Japan, in Kobe, Japan, ahead of tomorrow's match, the first preseason match against Vissel Kobe, the former team of Andres Iniesta. And not only is the team in Japan already, but they actually had their training session today ahead of tomorrow's match, which I have to say I'm very, very, very excited to watch because I cannot wait to see all of our new signings, including Joan Garcia, Rooney Bargi, Marcus Rashford, and of course the academy players like Dro, Jofre Torrents. I cannot wait to see all these players in action. Of course, I cannot wait to see Barcelona once again playing on the field because I have to say it's been a month and it's been a very, very, very long month. Now, speaking of the preseason tour, as you saw during those images that I showed at the beginning of this video, Hansi Flick was captured on camera expressing his dissatisfaction with John Laporta. And the reason why Hansi Flick was upset was because of how this whole preseason thing was handled. Because as you know by now, the team was set to fly out of the city of Barcelona on Thursday morning. But on Wednesday night, the club announced that the trip to Japan was canceled. Then came Thursday morning, and they said that the trip was back on because Rakuten, the former Barcelona sponsor, had offered to pay the 5 million euros that the promoter, Yashuda Group, had not paid. But then by the afternoon, Barcelona canceled the trip once again because there was a disagreement with Rakuten on when the payment should be made. Rakuten wanted the payment to be made when Barcelona was up in the air, and Barcelona wanted the payment to be made before they took off. So then they said the trip was canceled, and then they said once again at night that it was back on and that the team was going to fly out Thursday night. Well, it turned out that the team did not fly Thursday night. They ended up flying out Friday morning, given the length of the trip, the time difference. The team ended up landing on Saturday. That means they only had one training session. And then tomorrow, they will have the match against Vissel Kobe. So given all these changes in plans, trip is on, trip is canceled, trip is on, trip is canceled. We're flying Thursday morning. No. Thursday afternoon. No. Thursday night. No. Friday morning. All these changes have upset Hansi Flick because, of course, this affects the planning of the team because, as I've explained many times on this channel, being a football player is a 24/7 hour job. It's not just showing up to trainings and to matches. It's everything else that happens around the day, what time you go to sleep, what time you wake up, what time you eat every meal, what time you eat every snack, what time you drink water, what time you nap, how long the nap is when you wake up, etc., etc. And all this is pre-planned. The nutritionist, the physical trainers, the coaches, the doctors, they all plan this ahead of time. And the timing of matches, events, flights, all that affects that planning. So when you say, hey, the team is flying out Thursday morning, all the training staff, they're like, okay, the players are going to go to sleep at this time. They're going to eat at this time. They're going to wake up at this time, etc., etc. And then like, no, they're not flying out Thursday morning. They're not flying out at all. So now you have to change everything. Oh, wait, they are flying out, but it's afternoon. Okay, let's change all the schedule. Oh, no, wait. They're not flying out. Okay, let's change it back. And so on and so forth. So this, of course, affects everything from the players' sleep time, from when they eat, when they drink, when they warm up, when they nap, etc., etc., etc. So all this has, of course, affected all the planning. And that is why Flick was upset with John Laporta, which you might say, well, Mo, it wasn't John Laporta's fault, the sponsor or the promoter, Yashuda Group, that didn't pay. And it is, to a certain extent, the fault of the board. Because, for starters, you have to know who you're doing business with. Because it's reported that the Yashuda Group provided fake documentation to get this deal to begin with. So you should be doing a better job on knowing who to do business with. But let's say everything looked good and Barcelona got scammed. It happens. It happens to everybody. Barcelona should have still been better about setting up the deadlines. Instead of waiting until the night before they were supposed to fly out, Barcelona should have put it in the contract. Hey, 30 days before you don't make payment, trip is canceled. You want to make the window a little bit shorter? Okay, fine. 15 days before the match or before we're supposed to fly out, we don't receive payment, it's canceled. And that way it gives you plenty of time to figure out your next move. Rakuten, they want to pay. Okay, great. We have plenty of time to plan it. Oh, there's nobody to pay? That's fine. We can call maybe a local team in Catalonia, maybe a local team in Spain, maybe a team out of a different league. But that gives you plenty of time to prepare in case the payment does not arrive versus waiting the night before. I mean, that's just bad business. And yet another thing that was mishandled by this board of directors. But luckily, the team is in Japan. The match is back on. So the preseason is continuing. Now, speaking of Rakuten, they were, of course, a former Barcelona sponsor. And it's reported that they are set to meet, or more specifically, Hiroshi Mikitani is set to meet with Laporta in the next few days to discuss a possible new sponsorship deal. Now, if you don't know who Hiroshi Mikitani is, he is the CEO of Rakuten. It's an electronics company. He's a billionaire, one of the richest people in the world. He is also the chairman of Vissel Kobe, the team that Barcelona are going to be playing against. And of course, as you might recall, Rakuten was a former sponsor of Barcelona. They are also the owner of Vissel Kobe, and it's reported that Laporta will be meeting with Hiroshi Mikitani in the next few days to discuss a possible sponsorship deal once again with the Rakuten Group, which, of course, if it does go through, that would mean millions more for Barcelona in the form of income. Now, of course, this is still preliminary. Meetings are going to happen. There's going to be discussions. Nothing is decided. But if it does go through and Rakuten becomes a Barcelona sponsor once again, this would be a huge boost for Barcelona, financially speaking. Now, speaking of the preseason, while we're still on the topic, it's been reported that Deco has actually stayed behind. He has not flown with the team to Japan. He will not be flying to Korea either. He has stayed behind in Barcelona. Why? Because, of course, Deco has still a lot of work to do, not in the form of signings, but in the form of exits, because Barcelona need to offload a few more players in order to clear space on their wage bill and try to register both Joan Garcia and Marcus Rashford. And of course, even though Barcelona have already offloaded players like Pablo Torre and Pau Victor, there's still other players that they need to offload. For example, Iñaki Peña, right? Iñaki Peña has agreed to leave. Barcelona don't count on him, but he has yet to leave. So Deco has stayed behind, try to work that exit. Oriol Romeo, Barcelona don't count on him. Oriol Romeo has also agreed to leave, but that hasn't been finalized yet. And in fact, Oriol Romeo has stayed behind in the city of Barcelona to also try to find a new club. And then finally, there's, of course, Andreas Christensen, whose contract expires in the summer of 2026. The club are trying to push him out because if they do, they can clear a lot of space as far as the financial fair play, because A, they would be clearing a big salary, even though it's not the highest one, but it's still a big first-team salary off their wage bill. Plus, Christensen, there's a lot of demand for him, so they can get some good money for him. So between the money that Barcelona would make off his transfer plus his salary being removed, Barcelona could clear a decent amount of space on their financial fair play, which they can use to register either Joan Garcia or Marcus Rashford. Now, what's the problem? Of course, the problem is that Christensen is insisting on staying. But nonetheless, Barcelona will listen to offers from all the clubs who are interested in him, and they will present to the player to try to convince him, like, hey, man, look, you're 29. You still got some time, some years in your career. You could be playing at any club. You could be starting at any big club. Here, you're not going to be a starter. So Barcelona are going to listen to offers and try to convince Andreas Christensen to leave with those offers. Because, again, between his transfer fee and his salary being removed from the wage bill, that could clear enough space on Barcelona's financial fair play to, of course, register other players. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Hansi Flick has implemented new rules. Now, as we know, Hansi Flick is an incredibly disciplined coach. He expects full discipline and commitment from his players when it comes to their careers. It's reported that Flick has decided to even make his rules more strict. As you know, Flick has even bench players like Koundé for being just a few minutes late. And well, now Flick wants to implement more discipline amongst the locker room. And this time it's in regards to celebratory events and festivities, where he wants the players to reduce any celebrations or festivities or parties while the team is engaged in competitions. You know, while the players are on vacation, you could do whatever the hell you want. But while the season is ongoing, Flick wants his players to have their celebratory events and festivities reduced to a minimum. And even if you have to do a celebration because it's your birthday or whatever, Flick wants it to be as small as possible. No like, 10,000 people party, none of that. It's your birthday, okay, great. You go hang out with your family, your wife, your kids, whatever. But Flick wants all the distraction reduced to a minimum. And then there's, of course, the marketing and commercial appearances where players have to go to photo shoots and things like that, with their sponsors. Flick also wants that reduced, and it wants to be done outside of working hours. None of like, I got to miss training because Adidas wants to do. No, none of that. You want to go do a photo shoot with Adidas? That's great. You do that on your days off. While you're training, none of that, because Flick wants all his players 100% focused on this upcoming season. Well, I welcome these changes 100% because it's the only way we're going to be able to achieve greatness is if everybody is focused on the goal, on the target, which is, of course, trying to win every trophy out there, more specifically, the Champions League. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading another video in a few moments, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.